Welcome back to the Airborne Podcast. I'm your host, Ajit. That's Big Boy Bravs with us. We don't got Thanos on the podcast. All right, Bravs. Well, I mean, free agency has kind of come and gone a little bit. And obviously, the Raptors have been quiet for the most part. But, you know, the most heartbreaking thing, which was inevitable from the start of last season, really, which direction they were going to go and whether or not they were going to bring back Kyle Lowry. Unfortunately for all Raptor fans, Kyle Lowry decided to sign with the Miami Heat through a sign and trade, 3-year, $85 million deal. And we get Goran Dragic back along with Precious Achiuwa. We kind of know the details now. It took a few days to get that out the way.
Yeah. We kind of knew before that it was Goran and Precious, but now it's finalized.
Yeah. I did a video by myself on this thing. But I wanted to kind of talk to you about, how your feelings about, Kyle Lowry leaving and obviously all the memories, the good times. I want this to be kind of like a tribute video for Kyle Lowry because, I mean, he's meant a lot to a lot of Canadian fans.
100%.
And, through all the dark days we've had as a franchise, the years he was here was the most enjoyable, even though it had its highs and lows. But at the end of the day, we rooted for Kyle Lowry to, achieve the highest goal in basketball, and that's to win a championship. And he was able to succeed and do that with the Raptors. It took a little bit of time, but at the end, he was able to reach that goal. So I just want to celebrate him a little bit.
No, 100%. Like I feel like when Kyle Lowry came on board, I kind of knew who he was. I knew he was the Rockets point guard. I knew him and Aaron Brooks were the tag team. But then when you came on board, I didn't think it was going to last long. I knew there was speculation between him and I thought it was him and Steve Nash. They're going to trade, or that's what I really thought. But I thought that they're going to trade him. Not for sure for who, but the fact that he stayed around. The first few years, when he was kind of fat or kind of big, he wasn't the best, right? Even that series against the Nets when we went to Game 7. The last possession was in his hands. He went to drive it, and instead of passing it, he got his ass whooped, right?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, there were moments where I was going to punch him in the face, throw him out. But as he got older, as I got older, and as the Raptors, as the run got better, you kind of respect him, right? You kind of see his leadership. You see, you see the meme all over everywhere with the Ninja Turtles and I forget what the rat's name again.
Master Splinter.
Master Splinter. There you go. So you see, Kyle Lowry's Master Splinter, and then you got the four ninjas: Ray, Paolo, Siakam, Freddie, and OG. Right. So Lowry was kind of that guy who helped those four groom and develop in who they are today. Right. So you see that development leadership. You see the chemistry he had with DeMar. So long story short, I seen the development and growth of Kyle Lowry. I seen the way he meant a lot for our city. But I wasn't always a Lowry fan. I used to hate on him. Used to chirp him, say he sucks and all that crap. But over the years, even before the whole final run or the playoff run, I saw him develop. And I was on the side. I was good shit. We always say in Messiah we trust. For a while I was saying in Lowry we trust, right? You see the defensive mindset he brings to it, right? That guy's a pit bull, right? I think he led the league in charge taken, all that stuff. So but the thing is, we're gonna miss that for sure. But you kind of see a development or that mindset in the rookies, right? Freddie and Malachi Flynn, both of them are playing similar ball to what Lowry did. So hopefully Master Splinter left his knowledge and his, I guess, his
winning mentality.
mentality, yes, to those ahead of him, behind him. Sorry.
For the most part, when Kyle Lowry got drafted in 2006, he didn't have the best start to his career, even
No.
though he was a pit bull dog in Villanova, and I think he led them to the Final Four. Him and Randy Foye, I think they were a pretty good tandem in Villanova. His whole image was basically like he was a hothead, and coaches weren't able to
Really?
coach him properly. He was uncoachable.
Yeah. And I think he spoke about that in one of his podcasts.
Yeah, he was a late bloomer. Took a while to become a coachable player, and he had to go through a few different destinations before finally finding the ultimate fit with the Raptors. He was a late first round pick, the 24th pick in the 2006 draft,
Mm-hmm.
and he got drafted by Memphis. He was with Rudy Gay, who is one of his closest friends. I think Rudy Gay is a godfather to Kyle Lowry's child, I believe.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, they're close like that. And then obviously he was competing with Mike Conley for that starting point guard role for the Memphis Grizzlies. But unfortunately for him, he wasn't the one who made it because Conley was a first round pick also, but he was a lottery pick. He was a fourth pick in the 2007 draft.
Mm-hmm.
And Memphis ultimately chose to go with Conley over Lowry. And then he got shipped out to Houston, which is crazy because the guy he got traded for in this transaction for the Raptors, he was teammates with in Houston in Goran Dragic.
Yeah.
And Aaron Brooks. And I think Goran Dragic was the one starting for Houston, and Lowry really didn't get the starting role there.
Yeah.
And then when he came to the Raptors via trade for Gary Forbes and first round pick, it wasn't fun for him at the beginning either. Like he even said in one of his interviews, he honestly thought he was only going to be here for a couple of years.
Yeah.
He didn't think that this would be a home that he was almost living at for almost like a decade, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, 100%.
And for him, he was fighting with Calderon for that starting role. And once Dwayne Casey and the management was ready to give him the keys, he took it and ran with it and never looked back. When Calderon got shipped out to Detroit in that trade, it was Lowry's team after that because Calderon was the longest tenure at that time, right?
For sure.
And
for sure.
He's been there through the Calderon days, the Bargnani days.
Yeah.
He came in the same summer. Landry Fields was our biggest signing.
Oh, yeah.
Landry Fields from the
him, Steve Novak.
They both came in together at the same time. And he wasn't even our first choice at that time. Steve Nash was supposed to be the point guard we went for, but he was a little older and he wanted to compete for a championship. So he didn't want to come back to Canada. He ended up choosing the Lakers. And then, I think it's one of the best things Brian Colangelo ever did for the Raptors. This was before Masai. Yeah, the man became the GOAT for a reason. He's the greatest Raptor of all time.
100%.
There's nothing he hasn't done. He's a 6-time All-Star, won a championship. He made an All-NBA third team. Like you said, he was chunky for those first couple of seasons. That first year, when we made it to the playoffs, after Masai made that trade for Rudy Gay, sending him to Sacramento.
Yeah.
Grievous Vasquez, John Salmons, Patrick Patterson, and Chuck Hayes.
Chuck Hayes, that's the guy.
Yeah, and then that was the time our franchise turned around. Like, I think Masai was deciding that we were going the opposite direction, and Kyle Lowry was on the trading block to go to New York. He would have been on the New York Knicks if it wasn't for James Dolan pulling the plug because he had bad history with Masai Ujiri over the Denver Nuggets trade for Carmelo.
Yeah.
Thought he was going to get heisted again, so he said, fuck this, and he never pulled the trigger, which ended up working out for us in the long run.
It's a blessing in disguise, yo.
100%. And, for him, for us, it was a match made in heaven.
For sure.
The best 9 years. Even though, like you said, you want to punch him in the face, he had moments where he literally resurrected his career by changing his body, right? Like that year.
Yeah, 100%.
That 2015-2016 season when we went to the conference finals for the first time.
Yeah.
He changed his whole body and he was skinny as shit, remember?
Yeah, I remember he was so skinny, and I saw pictures on Instagram, and I was like, "Damn, what's happening to this guy?"
That was the year that he won the All-NBA third team, or he made it to the All-NBA third team.
Yeah, I remember that, and that was one of his best years.
Yeah, that Miami series.
Yeah,
it's crazy. He went crazy in that series,
and he improved his 3-point shot too significantly from when you first joined.
Like, I think a lot of coaches were against his pull-up three, especially Dwayne Casey.
Yeah,
but that was one of his signature moves, over the past few years.
Yeah, for sure.
And remember the half-court shot he had against Miami in the semifinal round in Game 1?
Yeah, I remember that. That I think that's when I started, believing in him. I was like, you know what? I'm all in. I'm all in. because that shot meant a lot, yo. It was a turning point, I guess.
Because at that point we just beat Indiana in a grueling 7-game series, and that was the first time we got out of the first round in like I don't know how many years, like since 2001.
Yeah, I think 2001 is when it was the first time.
That was the first series we had won in 15 years, and so all the pressure was on Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan to carry the franchise as far as they could.
Yeah,
and to see how much they progressed since then is crazy.
it's
And
insane. Like if you go back to old Houston Rocket videos or like Lowry's first day on the Raptors and first season here, and look to last season, you can see the development in his court awareness, development in his passing, shooting, everything. It's like in 2K where you go from like 66 to like 99. Like, it lies on 99, but still, we'll give him 85.
but I mean, like, you can't disagree that he's one of the best minds right now in the game. He's a top 5 IQ. Would you agree with me, or
You think top 5?
there's
On the Raptor squad?
no basketball IQ overall? This is
Oh no, 100%, 100%. No, 100%. I see
who
top
is it?
5.
There's LeBron. There's Chris Paul. You might say Luka, maybe.
Chris Paul for sure is number 1. In this day and age, Chris Paul number 1.
LeBron.
Me, Luka up there. Who's a good? LeBron for sure.
Rondo.
I don't know about Rondo. I think Mario Rondo, my opinion.
I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to name like the 5 guys with the highest IQ right now in the game. Like, as a floor general,
IQ, yo.
As a floor general, you'd want Kyle Lowry on your team, right?
100%.
Some of the memories that come to me, I mean, you tell me first what comes to your mind. Some of the good times that you remember Kyle Lowry was like the emphasis in like pulling out that win.
I think one of the most whenever you say Kyle Lowry, I think about him running to the paint, standing there tall, and taking a charge. That's the first thing I always think about.
Didn't care if it was Joel Embiid or someone as small as Zach LaVine. He took the charge no matter what.
100%. And he'll always fight for it, man. He'll fight for it. Like, he'll bark you down until he gets his way. Like, that's one thing I remember.
The famous line, "Don't poke the bear," when he
don't poke the bear, yo. That's the famous line from Jack Armstrong.
And I mean, I'm just gonna name a couple of the things that come up to my mind when I think about Kyle Lowry's tenure in.
Yo, don't forget about him getting a championship ball after they won. Eh? He ran and got that ball.
Oh yeah. Then he hugged Kawhi Leonard.
And he saved Masai.
Yeah. And I think for me personally, I got about 4 or 5 memories of Kyle Lowry vividly.
Yeah.
Where, like, when I think about him as a Toronto Raptor, these are the things that come up. He hit that step back 2-pointer on Dellavedova when LeBron was on the team.
Oh, in 2015?
I think it was 2015-16, yeah. That was the year that he got skinny.
Yeah.
And then you have, obviously, the iconic OG Anunoby shot, 0.5. He was the one who passed the ball to him across the court, basically.
Yeah, in the bubble.
Right in the pocket for him to get it off in time. In the bubble. And that was basically a crucial thing because right before that play, Kemba hit Daniel Tice with that nice little look-away pass.
Yeah.
They're about to win the game. And then Lowry passes OG Anunoby the ball. Perfect spot for a 0.5 shot. And end up stopping us from going from down 0-3 to only being down 2-1.
Dude, he saved us a few, There's a few big shots.
Dallas Mavericks, that 30-point comeback, he was the person behind that whole run. Luka didn't play that game, but they were up 30. Porzingis, Tim Hardaway Jr. And we made the run with Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, Terrence Davis, Chris Boucher, Kyle Lowry, and I forgot who else was there on the floor. But you can't make this stuff up, bro. 30-point comeback. That was that's the largest in Toronto Raptors franchise history.
Yeah. December 21st. I'm reading about it right now.
It was a serious comeback.
Yeah. Oh, it was Marc Gasol, Pascal Siakam, Norman Powell. They're all 3 were out.
Yeah, we were riding a underman team.
Yeah.
During that same time, it was literally in that week or a week after. You said December 21st?
Yeah, 2019.
So, wait, 2019. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. That was right after the championship season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That same week, or within that same 7-day span, on Christmas Day, we played the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
We got our ass whooped by Jaylen Brown. He dropped a 30-piece on us. And then we went into Boston at the TD Garden like 3 days after Christmas. And we had an undermanned team. And we went in with Kyle Lowry, Patrick McCaw, O'Shea Brissett, Chris Boucher, I think, and somebody else. And we went into Boston and took him out. And Kyle Lowry was the main guy behind all that. And it's just crazy because he has these kind of impactful games. And sometimes you kind of, lose sight of that.
For me, for him, he was always the guy, the turning point. Whenever you need like a boost or whenever you need, like something to turn around, you can trust in Kyle Lowry. But the thing is, that only developed the last few seasons. Like prior to that, I'm like, shit, we're done.
I would say the ones I listed, like the 4 or 5, I think those are classic vintage performances from Kyle
100%.
Lowry.
Yeah, 100%.
We can't forget the main one, Game 6 of the NBA Finals 2019.
He started off hot, yo. He started off hot. That's the one thing I should have said first.
People talking shit about him in Game 5 getting blocked because Draymond Green, he missed a shot and whatever. And then Game 6, he comes out, doesn't give a shit what anyone said. And he goes on his own personal 11-0 run.
Yeah, he started off hot.
And then I think he scored 15 points in that first quarter.
He was the reason why we end up going where we ended up going. Like, it was all him.
Yeah, and I mean, he started off and Fred VanVleet ended it with his clutch threes.
For sure.
But those are the kind of moments that you kind of just like, oh shit, like you can start to appreciate it more knowing that his career is kind of coming to an end.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be weird seeing him in a Miami Heat jersey, but he wants to, he's starting a new chapter in his life, and
he wants to retire. He wants to retire on the beach.
Well, I mean, I think before he retires, he's gonna sign that 1-day contract. Something Vince Carter should have done with us.
Yeah, he should have. Vince Carter's last season was the COVID year.
No, but I'm saying, but he could have signed with the Raptors, but he decided to go back to Atlanta, right?
I meant like the 1-day contract. You know what I mean? Like, I think he still felt like he may have some left in his tank, but again, I don't know.
You think you really think it's because of COVID? I mean, he would have said something.
Well, I feel like if 2019, 2020 didn't go the way it did, he would have finished the season with the Hawks and signed a 1-day with the Raptors.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah, because his season ended in like basically right around the shutdown because they didn't make the playoffs, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So they didn't get a chance to go to the bubble.
Yeah, for sure.
Bobby Webster and Masai Ujiri came out and said straight up, this guy's going to be the first one to get his jersey retired.
Yeah, and I agree. I think him, DeMar, Vince should be the big top 3 that get their jersey retired.
I think the statue is obviously inevitable too.
Yeah.
If you retire Kawhi Leonard's jersey when he was only there for about a year, T-Mac and Vince Carter. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just feel like Kawhi had more of an impact than Tracy. You know what I mean? Came in, got the job done, and cut.
Yeah, T-Mac. I feel like him and Vince Carter. Damon Stoudemire as well. But I'm saying those were like the culture starters for the Raptors in terms of Canada basketball. Without them, who knows? We might have ended up like the Vancouver Grizzlies and not have a franchise in Toronto, right?
Sure. The pioneers, yo.
Yeah, like, I mean, a lot of these Canadians that are in the league right now, their influence was Vince Carter growing up.
100%. We can all agree that Vince Carter is what that got us into it as well, right?
Yeah, so I would say Kyle Lowry first because he was able to achieve the ultimate goal and win that championship to kind of solidify his career in the Toronto Raptor uniform. And then you got to give Vince Carter that opportunity because he was a pioneer. And then I say DeMar DeRozan. And then if you really want Kawhi Leonard, T-Mac, Chris Bosh, Damon Stoudemire,
Chris Bosh. I don't know about Chris Bosh, but
I mean, you really think about it, they never really got him any help. Like, if you really think about those teams,
yeah,
like his best team was Hedo Turkoglu, DeMar DeRozan as a rookie, and Bargnani. Like, he was known for his Primo Pasta commercials along with Bargnani, and that one interview he had with Jack Armstrong where he's like, ball, or some shit like that. I don't remember exactly, but I just remember the interview.
I remember that still, but whatever. Screw that guy. Kind of like, bittersweet that Larry went on or he left Toronto. But you know what? Like, it's a good sign for a younger generation, right? Kyle Lowry trained Freddie. I think Freddie's gonna explode this year. I think Malachi Flynn will explode as well. If Jalen Harris didn't have the whole drug thing that he had to go through, I think he would have done well as well.
He had a good end to the season.
He did, and I feel like Kyle Lowry's knowledge is what helped these guys get better, right? So I don't know.
I mean, the man is a 59 pick, and he dropped a 30 piece in his hometown in Dallas.
Yes, sir.
And I know, like he let the whatever drug issue he had, he let it get in the way, and he violated the anti-drug policy, and he's going to be suspended for a year.
Yeah.
And that gives other guys opportunities on the roster to make a name for themselves. But Malachi Flynn, we unfortunately or surprisingly didn't draft Jalen Suggs. And when we didn't draft him and we drafted Scotty Barnes, I honestly thought Kyle Lowry was coming back.
Yeah, me too. I thought so too. I thought he's going to stay back for a year or two. But, he moved on. I think we're going to believe in Malachi Flynn, Freddie as well.
And Jalen Suggs, we didn't get him, but we have our own Jalen Suggs and Malachi Flynn on the roster.
100%.
And, him and Gary Trent, I mean, they're a young little backcourt that we have along with Fred VanVleet, but, we'll see how that goes. Kyle Lowry, unfortunately, it didn't seem like he had any negotiations with the front office to come back. I think it was always they were going to part ways.
Yeah, because I think his contract is too much, I mean? That's like, 3 years, 85, whatever. I think it's a lot,
Yeah, no, for sure. But, I just feel like if we did draft Jalen Suggs, maybe a guy like Kyle Lowry being on the veteran side of things.
It would have helped him out for sure.
But Lowry wants to, at this part of his, like the latter part of his career, he wants to try and win another championship. And the transition.
His boy, Jimmy Butler, right? Jimmy Butler is one of his boys. They're tight. So I think he just wants to, play with him one time.
He's a godfather to Jimmy Butler's daughter.
Yeah.
And you know what the crazy thing is? Like, everyone thinks, like, oh, like, this was such a huge transition for him to, like, to go to Miami.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there were already things coming out about him selling his house in Toronto a while back, right, during that season. And on top of that, if you really think about it, he's been in Florida for, like, the most part of, like, the last couple of years.
Yeah, for sure. 2 years.
Orlando in the bubble and then Tampa. Yeah. So to go to Florida, to go to Miami, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, he's already been basically living in that weather for so long now.
Yeah. And it's like, for him, it's like retirement, He just wants to retire.
Yeah.
Live his best life.
But I don't know, man. I mean, it's going to be hard to see him in another uniform again. I mean, obviously, like, I kind of forgot about the Houston-Memphis days.
Yeah.
So, like, to see him like this right now, I don't know. It's going to be weird. But what number is he going to wear? I mean, Dragic isn't going to wear number 7. He better not.
No, I think Dragic's not going to wear 7, but Dragic might wear 3, Who knows?
3 is Larry's old number 2.
I know. Yeah, that's why I said that.
OG Anunoby has 3, right? I think now.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
We'll see if he ends up staying on our team or if he ends up sending him.
Because 7 is worn by
Dragic in Miami.
Dragic in Miami.
And Lowry's wearing 7. Wore 7 in Toronto. Nah, we're not letting him wear it. But the real question is, will Miami fans let him wear number 7 in Miami in terms of Lowry?
You think Goran's a legend, right?
Well, Goran's been there since 2015. He's been there for 6 years.
Do you want to chip with them?
No, they went to the finals in the bubble, remember?
Yeah.
He was on Houston, Phoenix, and then Miami. He was on that team with like Isaiah Thomas and Eric Bledsoe as the 3 guards that 1 year with Jeff Hornacek as the coach. And they won 48 games in the West, and they still didn't make the playoffs.
That's insane.
That was in like the West was like heavy. Like, I mean, like it's heavy now, but it was kind of
heavy before. Before it was much heavier.
Winning almost 50 games and not making the playoffs. Imagine how pissed you must be as a franchise.
Well, it's like baseball, It's like the Blue Jays and the American League East. But, we're getting Goran Dragic. So, let's just see how it goes. Like, he did say he didn't want to be a part of the team. Kind of sucks. It's kind of bad vibes at first. But, I wish all the best for Kyle Lowry. I think Miami's going to make a push just because the presence of Lowry. They did lose defensive mindset in Precious. But, again, let's see how it goes.
I think everyone overreacted. I mean, like, Goran Dragic said he didn't want to play, but at the same time...
Yeah, I think it was like
interpreted. And it was like we aren't a championship team. He's right.
I agree with you. I do think that he wants to play with Luka. That's kind of why he said that.
Yeah, like his Slovenian brother, his actual brother just played with Luka in the Olympics.
Yeah.
And like, I just think he wants to play with them, and I feel like he wants to end his career playing with Luka. I think that's what it is.
No, for sure.
People think he's old and he's washed, but the man's 35 years old. He's the same age as Lowry.
Yeah, for sure.
He just had in the finals, he got injured. He's been a little injury prone through his career, but for the most part, when he is healthy, he's effective.
Goran Dragic has a lot of IQ as well.
Yeah, he's a very savvy veteran, bro. Like
he's very dangerous. He is very dangerous. He's the dragon for a reason.
He's 38% from beyond the arc. If he can just put aside the Raptor bullshit, more than likely we're going to trade him at the deadline latest.
Yeah.
I feel like we will.
Hopefully we can get like a big...
Yeah, that's the thing. We'll see how that works out. But I mean,
sure.
The main piece that we didn't even give any credit to was Precious Achiuwa.
Yeah. That guy's nasty.
Nigerian brother who in the Olympics blocked the shit out of Kevin Durant and then posted on his IG saying, "Trust me, pal, you're not that guy."
Yeah. He played really well. Big ups to the Nigerian team. That was really good. So I'm excited for him. I'm excited to see Precious. Again, it's kind of sad that we're losing Lowry, but welcoming new pieces of Precious and Goran might make it a massive impact.
They beat the USA in the exhibition round, but Precious Achiuwa, Masai and Bobby Webster said that they were looking at him last year in the draft, but he just went early to Miami, and that's why they ended up picking up Flynn. But he was definitely on their radar, but
for sure
they didn't get the opportunity to draft him, but now they have him on the roster. So,
well, that's good stuff.
I've seen his highlights. It's sick.
He's nasty.
Yeah, he's good. But Kyle Lowry, bro, I mean, what can we say? I mean, it's going to be sad when he comes back. And I'm just happy that, bro, he hasn't played in Toronto in like almost 2 years.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go check him out in his last game.
People want the first game of the season to be Miami versus Toronto, so Lowry can get that tribute right away.
Yeah, no. You wait till when Danny Green gets his ring.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look, you read my mind. I was gonna be like, yo, who do you think's gonna get? Do you think Lowry's gonna get his tribute video first, or do you think Danny Green's gonna get his championship ring finally, bro? Who is it?
Word. We'll see.
You spam the comment section down and let us know, bro.
Let us know. Let us know if it's Daniel gets ring first or Kyle Lowry gets tribute. Let us know what you think.
Danny Green hasn't got his Raptors ring in 2 years almost. That's crazy.
Jeez.
But I mean, he's in Philly, so he's in the division, right? So he'll get it pretty quickly.
No, for sure. I think
he re-signed with the Philadelphia 76ers for 2 years, $20 million.
Yeah.
Oh God, I think I might drop a few tears when I see Kyle Lowry come back.
Me too, young. I don't know how to react. I don't know if I should cry, if I should smile.
Did you get phased when DeRozan and Vince Carter got tribute videos?
I had goosebumps. The more I can relate to, because I grew with them. Because I got into ball heavy when DeMar was in the squad. Vince, not really. Like I got into ball because of Vince, but I didn't like progress into ball.
You saw like DeMar grow up through the years with the Raptors. The ninth pick in the 2009 draft, and for us, I think we didn't appreciate DeMar's tribute video as much because we were so excited for Kawhi Leonard in a championship run.
Yeah.
And Vince Carter, I mean, when he was with Memphis, he got the tribute video. I was at the game actually when that happened, and you just seen him crying.
He's humble, man. Very humble.
Oh, Vince Carter?
Yeah.
He was crying.
Yeah, I remember.
He came out and said it too. He's like, yo, I never asked for a trade. He just like, they traded me because they thought I was toxic in the locker room because, he was injury prone too, right? I want to see a documentary come out.
He was speaking injuries and stuff. I think that's kind of what started it. But I know his reasons about Kyle Lowry and stuff, but I'm glad we didn't give up Lowry for a pair of shoes and garbage can like we did for Kyle Lowry, where we gave up him for Aaron Williams, another Williams.
But I mean, Kyle Lowry wouldn't have been able to walk out and sign with the Miami straight, so he had to do a sign and trade. But shout out to him for getting some assets back for him.
Yeah.
And I don't wish him any ill will.
He didn't have to. You know what I mean? He didn't have to, but he was loyal.
Yeah, and I don't wish him anything bad. I hope he ends up getting another championship with Miami.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, it's gonna be sad when that happens, bro. I can't. I'm trying to picture it right now in my head.
I don't know. I don't even want to picture it.
You think they're not going to retire his number until he retires, right?
Yeah, I think it's too early to retire. I think they're going to wait till he retires for it to be retired.
Thank you, Kyle Lowry, for the 9 wonderful years you were with the franchise, giving us memories that we'll never forget. The best years in Toronto Raptors franchise history. Brought a championship, the first ever championship, to the roster, to the franchise. 2 conference final appearances, a lot of buzzer beaters, a lot of clutch moments, and a lot of games that you impact.
Defensive fouls.
Yeah, charges, and a lot of you won a lot of games for us, whether it was an offensive charge or a clutch bucket, but you came through, and it wasn't meant to be for our main guys, DeMar and Lowry, to get past 10 years with the franchise. They both ended at 9.
For sure. Honestly, man, like, you know what I think it is also, like it's just not just the stat stuff. Like I said earlier, it's about the knowledge, right? He shares knowledge to the guys. They're now, look at them now, right? They're developing. All 4 of them, I think, got like serious contracts. So that's big up to Kyle Lowry. So, you know, it goes to show you, you know, like, being a vet doesn't mean just, you know, killing the stat sheet. It means sharing knowledge and helping others grow. So, you know, big up to him.
Fred VanVleet said himself too, like when he first came in, like he brought him under his wing like an older brother, and he gave him his knowledge. He was never like, you know, salty about Fred VanVleet making the roster or worried that he was going to take his spot. He literally showed him everything he knew because they had similar paths.
He went from like the stubborn guy, like, you know, very, you know, like an uncoachable person to a lovable person who's coachable, who can coach others. So like you see a transition, which is good.
And he also got his doctorate while he was on Toronto Raptors. So shout out to him.
Sir, Dr. Lowry.
9 years, 9 unforgettable years. I don't know which Raptor is going to end up being able to pass that 9-year mark, being with the franchise. Sure. Has any of the stars ever been able to be here for over 9 years?
I don't think so. Like, I don't think we had any vet that was here less than 10 years.
Lowry and DeRozan are the only ones that signed multiple contracts with the Raptors, right?
Yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts about my boy Lowry, the greatest Raptor of all time?
I just want to say, it was a hate and love relationship. You know, didn't go the way we all wanted, but it ended off with a championship and a few things after. So appreciate you. Thank you, Kyle Lowry, for seeing this. Big ups. And
he passed the 500 game mark with the Raptors, which is also an achievement. 100%. And a lot of his accolades are either first, second, or third in terms of the Raptors franchise history.
Yeah.
And he left being the number 1 leader in assists.
I hope you get a statue soon. You know, I want that statue for the ACC.
What do you think the statue's going to be? Him and Kawhi Leonard hugging?
No, it's going to be him hugging the ball.
Yeah, right before.
Or it's going to be him setting a pick or setting a pick.
Him drawing an offensive foul.
Yeah.
It's going to be like Serge Ibaka.
Dunking on there, right?
Yeah, Serge Ibaka holding on the rim?
I think so too. Alley-oop.
No, like right at the end where he... No, I'm saying, remember when they won the championship, he grabbed the rim and then Kyle Lowry got the ball and then...
Yeah.
And Golden State.
I remember that.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We said what we had to say. Are we satisfied with the tribute?
I'm satisfied. Now we're doing like and subscribe.
All right. Well, I appreciate everyone for tuning in and checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like on the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to it. What are y'all waiting for? Stop slacking, bro. And we'll be back with some more videos because Raptors basketball is officially back and NBA season's right around the corner. Summer League too. But yeah, till then, stay blessed, stay woke, and please stay safe. Peace!
Yeah. The price I want for sure you gon' need.